Hi guys, welcome to The Young and the Tasteless, the show about going from rejected to accepted in the entertainment and publishing industries. I am your host, Kathleen Wallach, and today I want to talk about the audition process. Say you just got your first audition. This is an exciting time because this is the first step. You got the audition, and you know what, no matter what anyone says, getting an audition is such a big deal. Not everybody gets an audition when they apply for a role. Usually the casting director, the director, they have to shift through endless headshots and resumes. They pick out a few that they want to see. This is an exciting time. So, say you got the email or the phone call that says, we would like to see you this time, this date. That's exciting. What do you do now? Okay, well, it depends, because depending on the production and depending on the casting director and depending on the director, they either will want you to prepare your own monologue, be it comedic or dramatic, for the audition, or they will send you over sides. And sides are basically just a little segment of the script for the character you've applied for. And those are actually, I prefer sides because it's from the production. It gets you more into the spirit of the character because you're seeing, you know, what was written for them. But you know what, it depends on the audition, it depends on who you're auditioning for, whether you'll be able to be lucky enough to get sides, or if you will have to prepare your own monologue. So, okay, you've got the audition, you've got the sides. What do you do if you get the sides? You memorize them and you interpret them. Now, memorizing is just half the battle. Besides memorization, you really have to get into the character, because no casting director or director is just going to want to see you stand there stone-faced, memorized perfectly, but have no emotion and no sense of the character. And honestly, if you really want to think about it, getting into the sense of the character is slightly more important than actually having all the lines memorized, because at least then they know that you've studied, you've done your homework, and you really know where this character's motivations are coming from, their feeling, you know, you want to actually take this character, make it part of you. What they're thinking, what the character's thinking, the lines and everything is coming from you just as much as the character. That's how in touch with this character you have to be. Now, that's if you get the lines and the sides. Say you have to prepare a monologue. That's a different story, a slightly different story. When you have to prepare a comedic or dramatic monologue for, you know, whatever you're auditioning for, what you have to do is find, you know, go through the Neil Simon Monologue for Women. They have all these books and these little sort of tiny paperbacks that have just for this purpose, actually. They have monologues for women. From great plays. And they're very easy to just find online for free. There's so many websites dedicated to this purpose. So, say you find a great monologue. Here's the trick to when you have to prepare a monologue. You can't deliver the monologue the way, you know, Meryl Streep did in Sophie's Choice. If you choose this monologue, you know, the monologue from that movie, or, you know, the way my comedic go-to monologue is from Family Guy. It's a Quagmire monologue. So I can't deliver it the way Quagmire did in that episode of Family Guy. You have to take this monologue and deliver it in a completely different way. And I know that sounds really stupid, but it's true. You have to, you know, look at this monologue, absorb it, and then deliver it in the way that the character that you're, you know, trying out for, you think you would interpret them delivering it. You know, you can't deliver it the way that your favorite actor or actress did in the, you know, movie they were in. You know, you have to really just make it completely different. And that's sort of why I always have a problem with those, is because it's so hard. Say, you know, you've seen Glengarry Glen Ross, you know, a million times, and you want to do the Alec Baldwin monologue. In your mind, there's only one way to do that monologue, the way Alec Baldwin did it. But you're going to have to meld it into the way that, you know, you're auditioning. You have to sort of say your character is a sad person. You have to sort of make that monologue sound sad, really connect to your character and deliver that, you know, sort of angry and, you know, I would say almost a prissy monologue, because he gets so angry, and deliver that in a totally different way, like a sad way. And I always think the more different the monologue is from your character and the more you make it your own, the more impressed the casting director will be. So go for something a little complex, but that you could easily memorize, or you could easily sort of fit into, so that you don't stumble or forget your lines. And there is part 2. If you do forget your lines in the monologue, or with the the sides they give you, if you forget anything in an audition, the one thing you can't do is stop, search your brain, and then try to start up again from where you don't do that. If you're in an audition and you forget your lines or you stumble, the best thing you could really do is recover quickly. Just if you can remember the next line, or if you could just sort of even ad-libbing something that you think would fit there, that'll sound really good compared to just because at least then they know, well, she can recover quickly, or you got into character enough so that you can even make up what the character would say in this instance without knowing the actual written word. You can also always ask, they don't really mind when you do this, can I start again? Take a breath, start again. You do have a limited amount of time, but 30 seconds, they'll give it to you. Unless they're really, really nasty, and then you don't want to work with them anyway. Now, when you're in your audition and you are nervous, that's another thing I want to talk about, when you get really physically nervous during your audition. Now, I hope it's not just me that gets like this. I've whenever I go into an audition, I've been in a lot, so I think I'm totally, confident, and I think I'm, ready and prepared. My body doesn't agree with me. My eyes shake. I'm a shaker when I get nervous. I get very, very like that. Now, if you are the type of person, if you're like me and your body sort of manifests all the sort of nerves that you're trying to stifle, it would help if you could make it part of your character. If you could make your character a nervous person, if it calls for it. If not, then you'll just look psychotic. But you've got to get over this before you go into the audition. If you're a shaky person, or if you get physically visibly nervous, take a breath and just breathe out like 3 times. Count to 10 and then go in, because then your body will at least be calmed down. Now, I always heard this really great, I think it was from Bryan Cranston who said it, when you're going into an audition, this will calm you down. When you're going into an audition, pretend that this is the job you had for today. This isn't an audition. This is your job for the day. It may not be a paid job, but that way it's like you got this one job. Just pretend the audition is the job. So when you're playing this character, this whatever the script says you are, you're that role today. You're Jill from New York school system. You're this person for the day. This was your job. This 30 seconds, or this 3 minutes, or 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, however brief the audition is, that was you for the day. This was your job for the day. You have to look at it as if you already got the job, almost like your job today was an audition, and you have to approach it that way. That will up your confidence. Trust me. When I heard that, I said, oh, that's a really great way of looking at it. It upped my confidence. I went in there. I was much better. I felt much more at ease. Now, this is very important. What do you wear on an audition? Okay, well, sometimes when you get an audition, they'll tell you what to wear. They, if you're lucky enough to get an audition where they say, this character, please come dressed like, a New Jersey housewife. Please come dressed like, then they'll tell you, and then that half your thinking is done. Because then you were instructed to wear this. Now, most of the time, though, they won't give you, unless it's a callback, they won't really give you specific directions about what to wear. Now, I always think simpler equals better. Dress as simply as possible. Try not to wear anything that'll jingle. Like, don't do this on an audition, because you'll make a lot of noise. And that's very distracting. And the people want to see you, not a little band over here. So try to dress simply. Don't wear brand names. Don't even wear patterns unless it calls for it, and unless they specifically say like wear something loud and bright. Don't even wear patterns. Try to wear neutral colors that really just sort of showcase you. Another school of thought on that, and I do like this school of thought. My acting teacher said this actually. If you're auditioning for a character, like not just Jane. If you're auditioning for like Jane the pirate, or Jane the mystic, you know, or Jane the hippie. You're gonna want to dress with just a little touch of that character. So basically, if it's, say you're auditioning for like, Jane, say Jane the mystic. That's a fun one. Jane the mystic. All right, she's a mystic, so she's sort of this very spiritual, and she probably wears a lot of jewels and a lot of, has like a scarf and all that. Okay, so you could picture her in your mind. Capture the essence of the character. By that I mean, don't wear bangles and scarves and all this, hoo-ha. You have got to sort of capture what you think is like the spirit of the character. So wear like hoop earrings. Maybe wear like kind of an earthy necklace. Don't go full force with it. Just touches, little touches of the character. If it was, if it's a pirate that you're auditioning for and it doesn't say come dressed as a pirate, don't wear an eye patch and a hat and a parrot. You just maybe catch little essences of it. Maybe wear sort of the capri pants that are a little billowy. Something like that. And this, by the way, sounds like a really interesting movie, Jane the Pirate. No, but so you want to just capture the essence of the character, because if you try to overdo it with sort of the costume, when the email or the phone call, they didn't give you any direction to do that. If you just take it upon yourself to just go full costume for this audition, the director will probably view that, or the casting director will probably view that as you being very controlling. You have this very sort of concrete idea of the character, and you're not going to bend at all. And they don't really like that. They like to know that you did your homework, you researched the character enough to see, okay, they'd probably wear something like this, but they can work with you. So they want to see that you understand the character, but you're not just like taking it over and taking away, their writing and, their movie. You're just running, you might just look hard to work with. So you want to avoid that. Being overzealous can be a drawback sometimes. So, you're dressed okay for the audition, you got everything memorized, you're confident, you did your breathing exercises, you're in there, you delivered, and you did a great job. Let's say you get a callback. Now, if you get a callback, throw yourself a party, because that is an amazing, amazing accomplishment. Getting a callback, it's like when you send a book to an agent and they say, or you send a query letter to an agent and they say, yeah, I want to read the whole book. It's the same thing. It's the same, elevated just joy that you'll feel, because that means you aced part one, you got the callback. And getting an audition anyway is such a big deal. And when you get a callback, that's like you're in the final group, and it's an amazing feeling, and it's an amazing experience. And typically with a callback, you'll get a little more direction, because, they really, really want to see you and how you can do with more of this character. If you don't get a callback though, that's no big deal either, because sometimes, even if you think you do amazingly well in the audition, you just weren't exactly what they were looking for. So don't ever feel bad when you don't get the callback, you don't get the part, because any actor or actress who's really successful and worth their salt will tell you they've gone on 20 auditions for every one job they've gotten. And that's a good year. Starting out, you can go on like 50 or 100 auditions and never get anything, but the important thing is that you got the audition and you went on the audition, and you're trying, and that you're trying out for these things, and you're putting yourself out there to get auditions. Or do as much research as you possibly can. As much as, sometimes they provide a nice little character bio for you. Sometimes you might need to dig a little deeper for it. Go online, see like, okay, well, what would this person, in Google, just like, what would this type of person, if you're, say it's like a vegan PETA activist, how would this person deliver, a monologue? How would this person deliver their lines? Always make sure you do your research that way, as much as is available to you. A lot of movies now have Facebook pages. A lot of movies have their own Twitter feeds for the movie. So make sure you go on them. See if there's any little hints that the director's kind of given out, or the producer has said, that would really help you in preparing for your audition. Because sometimes they do give out sort of little hints on their social media, and you can even see other people's audition videos on their Facebook page, because a lot of directors now are doing like video send-ins, and video auditions, which is great because it's convenient, but you also have to do the same amount of work. You have to prepare, and you can't just send it in because it's a video audition, it's whatever. Send it in. No. Do the same amount of work as you would if you were standing right in front of this guy or this woman, who is the director and, the casting director. Don't just phone it in. Never just phone it in. Those are just the tips for today for how to really make an impression in an audition. How to come across as this character in a good way, in a way that says, I know this character, I've gotten into the mindset of this character, I am this character. Because that will come through, I promise. If you really commit yourself, it'll always, always, always come through. Thanks for joining me today. I would love you guys to follow me on Twitter at Wallach_Kathleen. I post a lot of funny pictures, so you have that to look forward to if you follow me. And I want to wish you all a beautiful day. Bye, guys.